In America today, 1 in every 3 adults over the age of 60 is silently losing muscle mass without even realizing it. This condition, called sarcopenia, isn't just about feeling weaker. It leads to falls, fractures, hospital visits, and the heartbreaking loss of independence. Meanwhile, in Japan, it's not uncommon to see 90-year-olds walking to the market, cooking for themselves, or tending their garden without assistance. As a physician who has worked closely with aging adults for over 2 decades, I've seen how devastating muscle loss can be. But I've also discovered something incredible. A humble Japanese food, often overlooked, has been quietly helping elders in Japan stay strong, mobile, and independent well into their 80s and 90s. It does what bone broth only promises to do. It rebuilds aging muscles from within. Today, I want to introduce you to this powerful food and explain why it might just be the key to fighting sarcopenia naturally. Before we begin, I'd love to know, where are you watching this from? And what time is it for you right now? Please let me know in the comments below. I truly look forward to reading them. And don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss what's coming next. Why are muscles wasting away? Have you ever noticed it's getting harder to climb the stairs? Or that rising from your favorite chair now takes more effort than it used to? You're not imagining it. And it's not just getting old. What you may be experiencing is sarcopenia, the slow, silent loss of muscle that begins as early as your 40s and speeds up after 60. It creeps in quietly, without pain, without warning. One day, you feel fine. The next, you're struggling with tasks that used to feel effortless. Unlike a broken bone or a sudden illness, sarcopenia doesn't demand attention right away, but it steals your strength, balance, and energy little by little until you realize you're moving less, doing less, and feeling less like yourself. And here's the most concerning part. It's incredibly common. In fact, 1/3 of adults over 60 are living with sarcopenia, and most have no idea. But muscle loss isn't just a natural part of aging. It's a treatable, manageable condition, if you know what to do. Many people turn to bone broth or protein shakes, believing they'll rebuild their strength. And while protein is absolutely essential, not all protein sources are created equal. Bone broth, for instance, is often low in the specific nutrients your body actually needs to rebuild muscle, especially leucine, an amino acid critical for triggering muscle repair. It also lacks the active enzymes that help your body absorb and use the protein you consume. And here's the kicker. Without proper circulation and anti-inflammatory support, even the best protein in the world won't reach your muscles effectively. That's why many older adults, despite eating well, still feel weaker year after year. In contrast, the Japanese approach to aging emphasizes more than just food. It's about function. Their traditional meals include fermented foods, plant-based proteins, and nutrient-dense ingredients that actively stimulate muscle regeneration and reduce inflammation. This is why Japanese elders in their 80s and 90s are often still walking, stretching, gardening, even dancing, while many in the West rely on walkers or canes. Introducing the Japanese superfood, natto, now. If I told you there was a food that has been quietly preserving muscle strength in Japan for centuries, without the need for supplements or shakes, would you believe me? Let me introduce you to natto. Natto is a traditional Japanese dish made from fermented soybeans. It might look simple, some might even say odd, but within these sticky, stringy beans lies a nutritional powerhouse unlike anything found in the Western diet. In Japan, many older adults begin their mornings with a small bowl of warm rice topped with natto, a bit of chopped scallions, and a dab of mustard. It's not flashy, it's not trendy, but it works. What makes natto so special? First, natto is one of the richest natural sources of vitamin K2, a vitamin that not only supports strong bones, but also plays a crucial role in muscle health by improving blood flow and preventing calcification in soft tissues. This improved circulation helps deliver nutrients directly to aging muscles, helping them regenerate more effectively. Second, natto contains nattokinase, a unique enzyme produced during the fermentation process. Nattokinase helps reduce inflammation and improve vascular health, two critical factors for maintaining muscle strength and preventing deterioration. And third, it's rich in leucine, a branched-chain amino acid that triggers muscle protein synthesis, the process your body uses to rebuild and strengthen muscle fibers. While bone broth offers collagen, natto offers action. It doesn't just sit in your system, it activates and supports the processes your muscles need to stay strong. A few years ago, I had a patient, Mr. Douglas, 68 years old. He had undergone knee surgery and was struggling with weakness and balance. He'd been drinking bone broth religiously and taking protein powders, but nothing seemed to help. After a conversation about Japanese diets, I suggested he try adding natto to his routine. He was skeptical, mainly because of the texture, but agreed to give it a shot twice a week. 3 months later, he walked into my office with noticeably more energy and strength in his gait. He told me he hadn't just improved physically, he felt clearer, more stable, more alive. Now, natto isn't a magic cure, but it is a deeply functional food, and that's what sets it apart. It works with your body's natural systems, not against them. If you're wondering how to start, natto is now available in many Asian grocery stores in the US, often in the freezer section. Just let it thaw in the fridge overnight and eat it chilled over rice or even stirred into scrambled eggs. How natto rebuilds muscle from within. At first glance, natto might not look like much. It's sticky, stringy, and often comes with a strong smell that turns many people away. But beneath its humble surface lies something extraordinary, a natural formula for restoring strength in aging muscles. So how exactly does natto work? Let's start with its most famous nutrient, vitamin K2. Most people associate this vitamin with bone health, and that's true. But what's lesser known is that vitamin K2 also plays a key role in keeping muscles strong and functional. It helps guide calcium into the bones and out of the arteries and soft tissues. This improves blood flow, making it easier for nutrients and oxygen to reach your muscle fibers. And better circulation means better muscle recovery, less stiffness, and more strength. But natto doesn't stop there. It also contains a powerful enzyme called nattokinase, produced during fermentation. This enzyme has been shown to help reduce chronic inflammation, especially in blood vessels and soft tissue. Why does that matter? Because inflammation is one of the quiet culprits behind muscle loss. It interferes with your body's ability to repair tissue, absorb nutrients, and stay active. By calming inflammation, nattokinase creates a healthier environment for muscle regeneration. Then there's leucine, a branch-chain amino acid essential for stimulating muscle protein synthesis, the process your body uses to rebuild and strengthen muscle. Leucine is like a spark. Without it, the engine of muscle repair never really starts. Natto is rich in leucine, and that's one reason It's so effective for older adults. Let me tell you about a patient of mine, Sandra, 73 years old. She had been dealing with persistent muscle fatigue and low energy. Her balance was declining. Walking around the house felt like a chore. We talked about her diet, and I introduced her to natto, not as a cure, but as a small experiment. She began eating natto twice a week, just a few spoonfuls each time, over warm rice with a bit of mustard. After 6 weeks, her energy improved noticeably. After 3 months, she told me she was walking more confidently, doing light gardening again, and even sleeping better. What changed? Her muscles weren't just receiving protein, they were receiving the right kind of support to actually rebuild and function. If you're considering trying natto, here are a few tips. Start slow. You don't need to eat it daily. Once or twice a week is a great beginning. Pair it with something warm and familiar, like rice or eggs. This softens the texture and balances the taste. If the smell is too strong, try adding chopped green onions or a drop of soy sauce. And most importantly, be patient. Like all healing foods, natto works over time. A word of caution. If you're on blood thinners or have clotting issues, check with your doctor before adding natto to your diet. It naturally supports circulation, which is usually a good thing, but it's always smart to stay safe. The truth about bone broth. Why it's overrated? For muscle health, bone broth has earned a glowing reputation in recent years. It's often marketed as the ultimate remedy for aging, good for joints, skin, digestion, and of course, muscle recovery. In magazines and health blogs, it's described as a superfood, praised for its ability to nourish from within. And yes, bone broth does have its benefits. It's rich in collagen, a type of protein that supports your joints and skin. It provides important minerals like calcium, magnesium, and phosphorus, and it's deeply comforting, a warm, soothing ritual, especially on colder days or when the body is recovering. But here's the truth many don't realize. Bone broth alone is not enough to stop muscle loss. Let's look at why. First, it's very low in leucine, the amino acid that plays a critical role in muscle protein synthesis. Think of leucine as the on switch that tells your body it's time to rebuild. Without that switch, even a protein-rich meal can fail to activate repair. Second, bone broth lacks active enzymes, those tiny helpers that make nutrients easier to digest and absorb. This becomes even more important as we age because our digestive strength naturally weakens over time. Your body has to work harder to break down and utilize the nutrients in bone broth, and often it can't do it efficiently on its own. Third, bone broth contains collagen, which is not a complete protein. Collagen helps with ligaments, skin, and joints, but it doesn't support muscle recovery the way complete proteins or fermented foods do. And unlike fermented foods like natto or miso, it doesn't offer anti-inflammatory benefits that directly support muscle health. Now, that doesn't mean bone broth is useless. Far from it. It's warm, it's grounding, it's easy to digest. And for many people, it brings a sense of safety and care, especially during times of illness or fatigue, but it should be seen as a supportive food, not the solution. Think of it like a gentle background player, not the main character in your muscle recovery journey. When my patients ask, "Should I keep drinking bone broth?" I always say, yes, but don't stop there. Use it to warm your stomach, soothe your nerves, or settle your digestion. But pair it with something functional, a food that brings what bone broth lacks. Try adding a spoonful of natto, stir in some soft tofu, or enjoy it alongside a boiled egg or steamed edamame. These additions introduce leucine, enzymes, and complete protein, the things your muscles are really asking for. When you combine the comfort of broth with the function of fermented foods, you create something powerful. Not just warmth, but repair. Not just tradition, but transformation. In Japan, this balance is common. Warm miso soups, small portions of natto, bites of tofu, all working together to support strength and vitality without ever overwhelming the body. That's the kind of approach that lasts, that heals, that respects your age while still believing in your strength. The Japanese lifestyle that keeps muscles alive. In Japan, the secret to lifelong strength isn't locked in a gym. It's found in the flow of everyday life, gentle, intentional, and deeply rooted in connection. If you were to walk through a neighborhood park in Japan at sunrise, you'd likely see a group of older adults standing in a loose circle, moving slowly and gracefully to soft music. This is Radio Taiso, a national habit of simple calisthenics broadcast on the radio every morning. It takes just 10 minutes. No equipment, no pressure, just movement. This daily ritual keeps joints loose, muscles engaged, and spirits lifted. And perhaps even more importantly, it builds consistency. A few minutes each day, every day, for decades. But movement is only one part of the story. There's a deeper force at work in the Japanese approach to aging, and it's called ikigai. Ikigai means a reason to wake up in the morning. For some, it's tending to a garden. For others, it's cooking breakfast for a grandchild, folding origami, writing poetry, or simply chatting with neighbors at the market. This quiet sense of purpose keeps people moving, physically and emotionally. And studies have shown that ikigai is strongly linked to lower rates of disability, depression, and even chronic illness. Where purpose lives, muscle stays alive. Let me tell you about Mr. Kenji, a 91-year-old I met while attending a health conference in Osaka. He wasn't a doctor or a speaker, he was just a man who walked to the event every week, because in his words, it keeps my mind awake and my legs strong. He told me his day starts with a cup of miso soup, then a walk to the nearby shrine where he sweeps leaves for half an hour. That's his movement. That's his meditation. That's his medicine. He doesn't do exercise as we think of it, but he moves with purpose every single day, and his muscles respond. In contrast, many older adults in the US have been taught to fear movement, especially after a fall or injury. They're told to take it easy, but too much stillness leads to even more weakness. Muscles that don't move shrink. The Japanese way reminds us that we don't need intense workouts to stay strong. We need gentle, regular activity. We need community. We need meaning. So if you've been feeling stuck, start small. Take a walk after lunch. Stretch your arms overhead when you wake up. Breathe deeply. Pick up something with both hands and feel your body support it. It doesn't have to look like exercise. It just has to feel like living. Other Japanese foods that keep muscles strong. While natto may be the star, it's far from the only player in the Japanese longevity diet. The secret isn't just in one food, it's in the synergy of many humble, everyday ingredients that quietly nourish and support the body, especially as it ages. Let's look at a few staples that help Japanese elders stay strong, flexible, and energized, without relying on high-calorie meals or supplements. One of the most beloved and healing dishes in Japan is miso soup. Made from fermented soybeans, miso is rich in probiotics, those beneficial bacteria that keep your gut healthy and your digestion smooth. Why does this matter for your muscles? Because a healthy gut means better nutrient absorption. When your digestive system is strong, your body can actually use the vitamins, minerals, and proteins you eat to build muscle more efficiently. Even a small bowl of miso soup before a meal can help your body prepare for proper digestion, something many elders in Japan do every day. Then there's shirasu, tiny white fish, often eaten whole. They're about the size of a fingertip, but they're packed with calcium, protein, and omega-3 fatty acids. Because they're eaten with the bones, they provide gentle, natural support for both bone and muscle health. They're especially common in seaside towns, where older adults continue to live independently, climbing stairs, tending shops, and cycling through narrow streets well into their 80s. Next, we have tofu and edamame, both made from soybeans, but in different forms. Tofu is soft, versatile, and easy to digest, especially for those who might struggle with chewing or heavy meats. It provides a clean source of plant protein, along with iron and magnesium, essential minerals for maintaining energy and muscle coordination. Edamame, often served boiled and lightly salted, makes a perfect snack. It's rich in leucine, the same amino acid we talked about with natto, again helping your body trigger muscle repair naturally. And finally, don't underestimate the power of sweet potatoes, particularly the purple kind, often eaten in Okinawa, one of the world's blue zones, where people live the longest and healthiest lives. These sweet potatoes are low on the glycemic index, meaning they provide steady energy without blood sugar spikes. They're also rich in antioxidants, which help reduce inflammation, another silent enemy of muscle health. I once visited an elder care home in Okinawa where lunch was always served with miso soup and a small piece of steamed purple sweet potato. Simple, nourishing. Enough. These foods don't shout for attention. They don't promise miracles, but together they form a foundation, one that supports strength, digestion, balance, and peace. And the best part? Many of them are now available in US grocery stores, especially in Asian markets or health food aisles. You don't need to eat them all. Just start with one. Let your body respond. Let your kitchen become part of your healing. A gentle guide to getting started. By now, you've heard about natto, miso soup, tofu, sweet potatoes, and the simple but powerful habits of Japanese elders. And maybe you're feeling inspired, but also wondering, where do I even begin? That's a beautiful question, because beginning at any age is an act of courage. Here's what I tell my patients, many of them in their 70s, 80s, even 90s. Start where you are. Start small. Start gentle. There is no rush. You are not late. You are exactly on time for your own healing. If you're curious about food, choose just one new thing to try this week. Not 5, not 10, just one. Maybe you begin with a warm bowl of miso soup in the morning. It's soothing. It supports your gut, and it helps your body wake up gently. Or perhaps you add a spoonful of natto to your lunch. If the flavor or texture feels unusual at first, try it over warm rice with a bit of mustard or chopped green onions. Eat slowly. See how your body responds. If natto feels like too big a step, consider starting with tofu or edamame, both excellent sources of gentle, plant-based protein. They're easy to find, simple to prepare, and kind to the digestive system. And don't forget about sweet potatoes. Baked, steamed, or mashed, they're not just comforting. They also provide slow, steady energy and anti-inflammatory support. Keep it simple. Keep it satisfying. Your meals don't need to look like anyone else's. They just need to support your strength, one bite at a time. Now let's talk about movement. You don't need a gym. You don't need special shoes. You just need to move your body in a way that feels good, and do it every day, even for a few minutes. Can you walk for 5 minutes after breakfast? Can you stretch your arms above your head while you're watching TV? Can you breathe slowly and deeply, letting your belly rise and fall for 3 quiet minutes before bed? These aren't exercises. They're acts of care. Tiny reminders to your muscles. I haven't forgotten you. I'm still here. Consistency, not intensity, is the key. Japanese elders don't move with force. They move with rhythm, with purpose, with peace, and their bodies thank them for it. Here's your invitation. This week, try one food. This week, move just a little more than yesterday. This week, speak to your body with kindness. Healing doesn't have to be loud. It can be quiet, gentle, steady, and it always begins with a single step. If there's one thing I hope you take from this, it's this. Your body is not broken. It may be tired. It may have slowed down, but it is still capable of healing, growing, and becoming stronger. One gentle choice at a time. Sarcopenia is not your destiny. It's a signal, a whisper from your muscles asking for nourishment, movement, and care. And now, you know how to answer that call with food, with intention, with quiet Japanese wisdom passed down through generations. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to change everything. You just need to begin. Start with one bowl of miso soup, one stretch before bed, one moment of kindness to your body. Let those small acts stack up into something powerful. Because strength doesn't come from force, it comes from respect. For your body, for your journey, for this precious life you're still living. If today's message gave you hope, share it with someone you care about. And don't forget to subscribe. Your story of strength is far from over. It's just beginning. Until next time, stay well, stay curious, and keep moving forward.